It's energy. It's not, it goes, it's textures of things. So when we're looking at our chart, we're interpreting it, we're seeing the sign in the house, that gives you all the healing information. The aspect says, oh, there's that stressful aspect. I wonder how that shows. And then you imagine, like, no matter what aspect you have, the planet's going to be in each planet's going to be in a house and in a sign. It's the same or different. And you have to make the best of that planet. You're going to have to use the moon in the sign and the house it's in. You're going to have to use the Mercury in the house and the sign that it's in. And as you're using the Mercury in the house and the sign in the moon, it's going to be difficult for the moon to catch up, or it'll be difficult effects. If you're using the moon in the sign in the house, it's going to have some challenges to how you think. Like, it's just, so if there's a stress factor, you're looking like that, and you haven't exactly defined it, but you're alert to a certain type of energy. I had something like this that just had to do yesterday, and they have an exam to write. Whenever they write exam, they get into the environment and they don't pass it. They can know it perfectly, don't pass. They have to be way ahead of it, have a good night's sleep, and just not think about it for the 12 hours before. And they come in awake, alert, and they pass the exam. So this is, there's thousands and thousands of examples you can get. So when you're doing your worksheet, you're just trying to grab one. Oh, this, I saw this one. Oh, that really represents it for me. You're just trying to see how it works for you. I mean, it would be easy to spend 1,000 hours on one aspect of one dimension of consciousness and how it affects the other dimension of consciousness. Really, we're just learning it as we live it across our lifetime. And even then, we don't always learn that well. We gain the experience. It goes into our memories. And we think about it according to the nature of our memories. So, but with Mercury and the moon, as you get close to someone, as you talk to someone, as you say something and they respond, you ask a question, they come back, you make a promise, they make a promise, they say something, and whether people live up to it or not or whatever, there's going to be stress. It can make someone not be able to retain things or remember things that well. It can make someone remember them all too clearly, but can't let go of them. Either way, it's still a stress. At the same time, if someone's using that stress to write a book or imagine different things, how things were, things like, wow, that could be very useful. But it's going to have an effect on how you get close to someone. You're getting sympathetic and close to someone. You hug someone. You're sitting down having tea. You're talking to someone. You're living with someone. You're going to know if they got this Mercury square because you're going to start running. They're going to be talking too much and they can't shut up. Or worrying too much over everything. Doesn't need to worry. Don't tell them that. They're just going to go and worry forever. Okay, some of this will come because of the attitude of the sign, some because of the circumstance of the moon in, but this is happening regardless of that. But even though the stress is there, the work is still to be the moon in the sign house, and the Mercury in the sign house. And if you're doing both correctly, there will always be that stress there. The solution is not to, I got to get away from stress and just be mellow. So I got to use this. If I want to think clearly, if I want to write something, I want to do something, it's going to take a little extra effort to get my habits together, to put the time down to actually do it, to turn off the damn TV. So we're using words for habits and hobbies and memories. It's a lot of things. And the ability to think about them and make sense of it and make connections between that's the Mercury. And they can get lost doing that. Or it can be charged up doing that. In any case, if you have the stressful aspect, it's going to take a little extra effort to hold it in perspective, to keep a clear perspective. Because there's a tendency to take everything too personally. Or to feel too strongly about what you're thinking. Or take what people say too sensitively. Okay? So that's the Mercury. So when we take it up to Venus, the moon and Mercury, the moon and Venus, they tend to see, you can see, actually the moon to any planet, you can see them running, affecting each other. Really, the outer planets you see more as if they're affecting the moon. With the inner planets, Mercury and the moon, they sort of mix together. One affects the other affects the other, and it's a bit more of a puzzle, but when you start grouping your friends and grouping the people you know, and you start seeing who has it, you see the groups that have it and don't, and it becomes more clear. Just by experience, not by speculation, not just by guessing what it means. So I'm just tuning in and talking about the moon, and here's one type of stress. Lots of people have it. Lots of people don't. There's a difference. But it's not the end of the world to have it or to not have it. It's just something you deal with. If you've been around for 3 months, you've gone through 3 moon cycles and a Mercury cycle. By the time you've been around for 30, 40 years, this is normal stuff. It's just how you're used to doing things. Oh, I can't get up without a coffee. I can't start. I get up, but until I have a coffee, I can't think right. Don't talk to me until I have my coffee. You know, like someone else gets up, boom, and they're going. Me, I get up and I like to meditate and be quiet for a minute. My mom would get up and turn the news on, and she wakes up from the news, which really disturbs the meditation. But in the end, it helped me meditate better because I learned to turn it off. But I also learned that I can't stay too long in my mom's place or it gets on my nerves. So, okay. Spend the whole day on this, just on this aspect. But we're going to go now to Venus. Now, Venus has its relation, like Mars is how you make sense of the memories against the moment, against what's happening. I've seen this before. Oh, it's probably going this way. It's planning things, making up time, what time is to be here, what time is to be there. So someone who's always late might have a Moon Mercury problem. Their habits aren't clear with their mind. So lots of choices here. But Venus is the choices of what you like, what you want and don't like. What you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you're attracted to, you're repulsed by, like your baby. I love the desserts. I can't stand the meat or the other one. Like you can love things, you can hate things. But Venus is never indifferent. It's always trying to get more what I like and get away from the things I don't like. I'll scream when I don't like it, things. I'll smile to get what I want. It's the charm principle. But it's attraction and repulsion. You know, it's charm and then it's contempt, like gush, repulsion, attraction, repulsion. So when Venus, how beautiful do you think you are? How charming do you think you are? How deserving are you to get whatever you want? How you can be there and everyone's going to notice you and give you what you want or not. And then how do you get what you want? So that process of evaluating and making choices, what we like, what we don't like, that's Venus. When it comes in and makes a difficult aspect to the moon, that's tends to be an overindulgent aspect. I want this, I need it. I'll have the pie, I want another piece. I'll have a drink, I want another piece. Venus is often tied into alcoholic things, but when you bring it into the habits and the lifestyle, it's going to start indulging the lifestyle, making your habits. I got to have this. I need to have this. I can't just have a meal. I have to have at least one dessert, or I have to have a sweet drink with it, or something with it, or I need to get this attention. Or do you like me so far? Do you like me? Like there's a feeling, and if I don't get that appreciation or that like, or being liked or charmed, appreciated, or don't get what I want, I'm going to feel really bad. I'm going to feel insecure. And if I feel insecure about what I'm not getting, my behavior patterns are going to overindulge, like advertising works on this. My feelings are going to overindulge. If I didn't make love and I couldn't make love, then I may as well have a drink. If I can't have a drink, I may as well have some chocolate. If I can't have a chocolate, then you go through the spectrum of what's the next best. So it's both the moon and Venus are the feminine planets. They both don't have clear definitions to the needs, the appetites, the habits, the feelings, what you're eating, how you're living. That's your moon. Well, if it gets in a stressful relationship to Venus, you know, when too much of a good thing can spoil it. You know, it's a funny thing with Venus. The more you have taste, you have quality, you have style. We all have it. And when you get too much of it, we get fat. We get, you know, grows, it changes. And then whoa, I got to stop that so I don't lose it all. I mean, there's many layers that we evaluate where our Venus is. So it can go back to complex, whether you're wanted or not wanted when you were a kid, whether you were spoiled or you got too much and you weren't given proper habits. And I mean, in today's world, most of the kids are sitting in front of TV, now it's computers, and they're not getting exercise. They're just eat something, eat this, and they're overeating, and they're watching what they want. And well, I know a lot of families, they just kind of eat on the kitchen. There's a counter and they eat on the counter. They never really just stop the TV, stop anything to sit down and have a meal with the family. Sometimes a Moon-Venus aspect, how would you see the family sitting down to eat and your brother or sister gets a bigger helping than you, the Moon-Venus is going to scream. I'm not getting this. It's not what I want. They got more than me. So it can build up to be envious. It can build up to overindulgent. It can be slothful of getting too much and being vegged out on it. But implies needing too much sweets and not just liking things, needing this, wanting, I need to have what I want, or I'm never going to get it. Like it's moody, and even Venus is irrational between wanting, I'm wonderful, I'm getting what I want, I'm horrible, I'm not wanting, love and hate. So as you experience the cycles of love and hate, your feelings are going to go, well, this is wonderful, that's just horrible. It's going to be tied into it in a stressful degree that will interfere with what you remember. It's easy to remember the bad thing. Oh, they did that to me, or they did that to me, and they didn't give me what I wanted before. Why should I be there now? And we begin to let our feelings, our past, not getting something in the fore, we make judgments around this, and then the Mercury gets tied into it. Since that, we're never going to let this happen again. I won't even get close to that again because they didn't give it to me before. It's not a valid point necessarily, but it is a character fault or a stressful pattern that needs to be worked on. If you have that overindulgence side, you're going to have to watch your weight. If you're envious of other people, you're going to be very unhappy until you stop being envious. You go get the stuff you want rather than expecting everyone else to give it to you. You mean I have to do this myself? You mean I'm going to have to get a job? What? No, I'm just at home. You should give it to me, Mom and Dad. Like, it's stupid. But when you're looking at a growing person, it can be really insidious. If someone's mom spoils them and gives them everything they want, they don't know how to do without it. When they get to school, they got behavior problems, attention problems, special needs, because they feel they need it regardless of whether anybody else needs it or not. Of course, it can work the other way. If the moon's in the wee us signs and stuff, it can be everyone else needs to have this and we need to have it. Can go either way. But with the moon, you got your moods, positive or negative, and your memories. With Venus, you got your likes and dislikes, your loves and hates, and they're coming together, and the mind gets pulled into it usually too. But when they pile up, you just add them together. But we're just looking one at a time right now. We'll get to Mercury, Venus next week. But the thinking too much, feeling too much, eating too much, wanting too much, these are all problems with these inner planets. And again, not doing enough or being too slothful or not getting it. The sloth, it could be Mercury, but Venus moon really can be really slothful or lustful or very indulgent. Like taking in more than one needs to take things in more than put things out. And if you're taking things in, you may as well have the nice things, the sweet things, the good things, the expensive things. So anyone who lives with someone with Moon Venus knows they've got the Moon Venus. Oh, geez. I may as well give it to her. She's going to scream if I don't give it to her. He's going to scream. He's going to scream if I'm not nice. Like, you just,